All right. Greetings. Welcome back to Blackbird News, where everything is connected. Yes, I know I am very late. I apologize. Um, I don't know. I have a lot of things going on, so um, that's all I can say, really. But thank you all for being here. And I apologize for the lateness. I guess I just would probably have to give you a heads up because life is always in flux for people in general, right? So, my situation has changed. My situation is constantly changing as far as like what I'm trying to do in life and trying to take care of. And so, yeah, I like this time of day. This is a really good time of day for me. So we probably won't change our time anytime soon. Although there may be a reason or a cause for that in the future. So I'm just giving you a heads up on that. There might be a moment in the near future when I have to change the time of the show. I don't really want to do that. There's that. And so, and also, my shows may be intermittent here and there. So just to give you a heads up, tomorrow I may or may not have a show tomorrow. I don't know. If you see me post a show, then we have a show. If I don't show up, that means there's no show. So, but thank you all for, we're here most every day, and thank you all for hanging out with me every day. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, I'll try not to be. It's more a selfish. It's a self thing. I don't like being late to things myself. But we can only do what we can do. So, all right. So it's Friday, and we're kind of hanging out today. I appreciate that, Amanda. Thank you for the understanding. Andre says we're all in survival crisis mode. I guess so. And that really actually sucks. So it kind of sucks that everybody's in that mode. I wish it weren't so. I wish people were able to relax and enjoy, the better part of your day, or do what you want with a lot of your day. Sorry about your knee issues, Andre. That sucks. That really sucks. My dad had both of his knees replaced right after he retired, and I don't know. He never. He was able to walk, but not without the aid of a walker. But yeah, when the hips go and the knees go, man, I know that can be tough. But, keep on doing everything that you can, including, it's hard for people to get therapy. And I will give my unasked for advice, which is, and I know you're probably in a lot of pain, so, but if there's a way to, keep all those joints active and loose, right? I know it's, I'm just, I know that people are in pain. When they get to be in pain, it's hard to do things about. But uh, so I don't know. Osama says I had regenerative medicine that brought back the cartilage in my knee, umbilical stem cells, and platelet-rich plasma. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean there are advancements in medicine, and so hopefully those advancements will bring you some relief, Andre. Denver range of motion, yeah. Well, just to finish my thought, the way that I'm trying to stay away from knees and ankles and hips and stuff, is I exercise and I stretch every day, and I do core core exercises and things that strengthen my legs and all that kind of stuff. And guess what? I had so many things to do today, and I was so late today. I didn't even do that, and I usually do that regularly every day. But like, man, if stretching, if you can do it, if you're not in too much pain, stretching, yoga, stretching, that stuff keeps a lot of the aches and the pains away. If you can do it. I know that some people are just not in a space where they can do it. So, all right. Well, let's get into it. We're just going to talk about this and that today. This is Fenrir. Yeah, Judy, the yoga and the space to do it. So I didn't have the space in my life to really do it regularly for a long time. And through the job I was working and the things that I was doing, maybe 10 years ago, I was developing really bad, back things and hip things and all kinds of stuff. But then I got into a place where I could actually stretch regularly every day. That took a lot of that stuff away, and I could exercise regularly, and that took a lot of that took a lot of those aches and pains, or put them, push them away somewhat. That's and I'm thankful to be able to have the space to be able to do that, and the time. You're unvaxxed. Well, at least you got that going for you, Andre. That's good. That's good. You don't want to compound your problems with that. From Fenrir, retweeting. This is the surface of a comet. Looks pretty barren. Once the sixth mass extinction is finished, this will be Earth for millions of years. And that's unfortunate, but may very well be true. I don't know. What say y'all? Do you think that's where we're going? And how soon do you think we're going to get there? I mean, a lot of people say we're in a not good space. From the Doomer Cafe. The hot yoga. Yeah, I'm interested in some hot yoga. But I like to do the things that I can just do at home. I don't want to go somewhere. I don't want to go to a place to do yoga. I want to do yoga on my floor. And my exercising. I don't want to go somewhere for that. I suppose I could do hot yoga in my house. I could just turn the heater up to 85 and do hot yoga there. Maybe that would work. I don't know. The good news is that the oceans are saving us from ourselves. They are taking most of the heat caused by Earth energy imbalance. There's that imbalance again. causing climate change. The bad news is even the oceans have limits to the amount of heat they can absorb. And there's that. That is an issue that people, which is a change in ocean heat content since 1955. That's a thing. That's a thing that is hard to ignore, and it's a thing that kind of like the global dimming equation. You know, No says 2 years max, then hot yoga everywhere. Maybe so. Maybe we'll all be doing the hot yoga real soon. Okay. But yeah, that old ocean heat content when it decides to so 2 years. I see people saying 2 years till we get to comet Earth. We go from planet Earth to comet Earth. I don't know. Maybe that's what I should have titled this video, Comet Earth. But yeah, we don't know, when things get really out of control and we lose all the emissions, because, global industrial civilization has collapsed, then, well, that'll be bad. What happens when the heat content of the ocean starts pouring out of the oceans? For various reasons, right? What if there was less CO2 in the air, less CO2 being forced into the oceans, right? And that's kind of like a global dimming situation, right? What if there were less emissions in the atmosphere? And all that CO2 in the oceans and the heat was forced to come out, or, just decided, well, now I'm gonna outgas my my excess. So here you go. I don't know. Judy Truitt says there are feet of snow in the Sierras and it's in the 80s in Florida. Lightning Rod says you might be surprised at what you can eat when cold or hungry enough. I've been listening to the show. My kid is really into this show called Mr. Ballin. Has anybody listened to this show? It's on YouTube. And he says it's about the strange, dark, and mysterious. And dark is the correct word, because a lot of the shows are about people that get trapped in really terrible situations. And a lot of times they die. It's not all about that, but it's all about just weird, kind of weird, gruesome stuff. And anyways, there's lots of episodes of this show where they're talking about people in survival situations, right? The only survivor of a plane crash, or the only survivor of, some disaster, or they're, somehow get trapped way out in the desert, and they start eating, when you're hungry enough. Yeah, you're right. In order to survive, a lot of these people resort to eating anything that moves. Straight off the ground, right? Cooked, they're not worried about cooking. This is not no fine dining. It's bugs and lizards and literally anything that moves. Anything that moves. If you are in a bad situation, that's what you'll end up eating. Anything that moves. Anyways. Oh, yeah, you're right. He does have a Cocaine Bear episode, right, Bella? That's right. It's a pretty good one. I listened to that one. Yeah, Mr. Ballin is pretty great. I like that show. Highly recommend. It's a little addictive, actually. Let's see what William is putting in the chats here on the old call-in app. Yes, you're right. Yes, forestry workers. I mean, it's a disaster in Ohio. Forestry workers are finding hundreds of dead animals in Ohio's parks after East Palestine toxic disaster. This is what I've been hearing this about this. Maybe we'll talk about this
Here's
one.
one.
Oh, hold on.
U.S. warns China not to send weapons to Russia for
All right,
Ukraine war.
Garland,
And there's
Garland
the
Nixon,
guy. Now,
Garland
we just
Nixon. Okay, hold. Pop Garland. Yeah, it is a straight up disaster in Ohio. I don't know what will become of us. Is this just? Is this just what happens when we lose our ability to keep everything together? To sustain this set of living arrangements, as Guy McPherson calls it, is that what happens when we because it takes a lot of energy and a lot of um, inputs and regulations and all kinds of stuff. Excuse me. It takes a lot of stuff to keep industrial civilization at least working, somewhat optimally. So when you have rampant corruption, you have people who are living in a world where it's like, well, looks like things are going down. I guess we'll just go for it, right? Everybody's living in a get all you can get kind of mind state. Get it while the getting's good, while everything is falling apart. Well, then you might actually get into a situation where just things feel like they're spiraling out of control, and nobody's minding the store. Nobody's on watch. I don't know. Oceanic Estate says we're approaching the time when the opportunity cost is way under sustenance. Let's look at this from Peter Dines. When food supplies fall, countries limit exports or prioritize them. Brexit weakened the UK's supply side for sure, but the real danger here is weather flip-flopping, which is damaging the supply side. A weakened jet stream is causing havoc with stable weather needed for agriculture. Yep. And we talk about that all the time. Weather extremes are bad and they're damaging. And on some levels, they might be interesting, like, oh, wow, this weather is really, really crazy. Whoa, On a surface level, people might go, wow, oh, would you look at that? But on a very real level, these extreme weather events mess with the growing seasons, and they also mess with the animals that help sustain these growing seasons. They mess with the cycles of the birds and the bees and the plants. And if those cycles are messed with enough, then we reach a situation where there is not enough food to be grown to sustain the people. And then that's a bad situation indeed, right? Probably why they're trying to move agriculture, animal and otherwise, indoors. Because the people in charge understand, we're not going to be able to do this outside for very much longer. Okay, I'm going to take this call. Zach, how you doing? Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Zach?
Not much to say here, but I somehow I ended up following you, and it seems like you're a good. Oh, I'm not even following you now. I'm following now.
Okay.
But yeah, I just wanted to call in. I've spent a lot of time on the app called Clubhouse,
Yeah.
and so I didn't want to interrupt what you're talking about here, but just wanted to connect. And it seems like you're talking about some things that are very relevant to my work.
Okay.
And I just wanted to say that and just say hello.
Well, thanks.
I'm listening, and I appreciate what you're putting out into the ether.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in. What's your line of work, or what is that?
I live in Portland, Maine, and I am the director of an educational nonprofit program series. And we facilitate a variety of classes and workshops that are focused on small scale living skills, deep nature connection, wilderness survival, and
nice.
Ecological regeneration, all sorts of nature shit.
Right. That's cool. That sounds great.
Yeah.
And those are going to be much needed skills probably in the future, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah, well, thanks. I mean, I guess I'm still kind of learning how this app works, but it seems like it's really, it would not be nice. Maybe it would be smarter for me to just hang up and you can go back to what you're talking about rather than me just like sitting on stage, right?
Yeah, it's you can remove yourself or I can remove you, either one. But I appreciate you calling in, Zach. Thank you.
All right, keep doing
and
your
thanks
thing.
for listening.
I'm gonna keep listening here.
All right, cool. Right on. Very good. Well, it's Friday, and we are kind of just being a little looser today, and that's all good. That's why I took the call. It's not quite on Fridays. I try not to be in quite such a rush to get through a bunch of stories and whatnot. But it may be. Oh, thank you, Denver. I appreciate that. Denver said you deserve much more recognition, Kevin. You do great work. Thank you. Right on. Thank you. I am trying. Well, I appreciate you all showing up every day, and I think it's cool. Well, we go through cycles with people. It feels like we've gotten a lot of new listeners lately, and that's great. And some people have been here for years. Osama has been here since the very first week of my show, which started in 2017. Right, the very first iteration of this channel. Osama has been here from the beginning. There may be one or two other people that are still here from those days, but people have been watching the show for years, and I really appreciate you guys, staying around. Some people drift off. Some people get a little bored of what I'm saying, day after day. It's all good. It's cool. It's fine. But we have a lot of new listeners, and that is encouraging to me. I feel like, Amanda, that's right. You've been here since 2018. That's right. Caleb, yep. That's right. You've been here for a long time. Schultze has been here for quite a while. Yeah, it feels like more people are getting kind of hip to what's going on with the weather, right? Yes, Contemplative Prague. You've been here for a long time too. That's right. Yeah, people are starting to understand there are some serious things afoot, and just coupled with all the political, economic, and whatever you want to call it, social turmoil that seems to be a brewing. Well, let's talk about Ohio, I guess, for a second. Oh, Rhonda boy, that's right, Lost Adult. Okay. Yes, you have been here for a long time, Lost Adult. Yes. Sometimes people change their handles too, and then I don't recognize them for a while. I'll know somebody by their handle, and then they change their name, and then I'm like, "Who are you?" I'm, whatever. Um. Anyways, forestry workers finding hundreds of dead animals in East Palestine. This is the article that William just sent me. In Ohio parks after the East Palestine toxic disaster. Man, this just gets worse and worse. But it is, man, this has gotten so much attention, and this has really filled up the space, I guess, all over, everywhere, right? People are really upset about this, and people are really aghast at this destruction that these fools have wrought upon the environment. And so on some levels, this is, really, directed people's attention to what we are doing to the planet, I think, on some levels. And also just this story kind of has everything, right? Environmental destruction and political corruption, capitalism at its worst, Got to keep those trains running. Got no time for cleanup. We got to blow up the vinyl chloride and just send it, just the absolute, this feels like something. So somebody compared this to when they blew up the whale on the Oregon coast years ago. They're like, what do we do about this? Well, we blew it up with dynamite, and that was stupid. That was bad. No says, how about human ignorance, right? Yeah, this feels just like just the dumbest of dumb moves, Yeah, and, it's really the consequences are not great at all. But maybe, maybe this is it's funny, though, in the same way, or not funny, actually sad is what it is. Remember when Trump was president and everybody suddenly got concerned about the environment and they were really upset about what we were doing to the environment, and then Biden got elected and everybody went to sleep, or they went to brunch, right? They were like, or maybe not. Maybe I'm just assuming things. But I'm hoping that this doesn't do this. Everybody's concerned about the environment right now, or what we're doing to the environment. And hopefully when the story goes away, people won't go back to their laissez-faire ways. According to a new report from Ohio Star, forestry works are finding hundreds of dead animals in Ohio parks after a toxic train derailment in East Palestine. The BBC itself is reporting that the number of dead animals since the crash is numbering around 45,000. And that's within a 5-mile radius of the crash site. Good Lord. Several labs across the country have received specimens of whole minks, deer, elk, worms, and livers of such animals, and they are finding toxicities that are off the charts. These highly toxic levels are the exact chemicals that were released from East Palestine. Wayne National Forest and Shawnee State Forest in Ohio are downriver from East Palestine. I'm sorry, I'm saying it both ways, and are two parks where samples are from. Nearly 45,000 animals have died as a result of a toxic train crash this month in Ohio town. The figure from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources updates the initial estimate of 3,500 animals dead to 45,000. Wow. The governor and the railroad were blocking scientists from getting soil samples in East Palestine, but they were able to still grab some for testing. Likewise, the soils are highly contaminated. The source claims that the Ohio governor only uses his own hand-picked scientists to give him the results he wants. Well, where have we heard that before? It is heartbreaking to me that politicians like DeWine make an issue like this political. It should not be. He should be doing all that he can to protect people, animals, and the environment, and not just cover his own behind. You did a bad, you might actually look good if you take responsibility. Right? You might actually turn that whole thing right around real quick if you were like, you know what? This is super terrible. I know he probably can't. Why? Because his pockets are lined by the same people that line all the other politicians' pockets. And if he turns around and suddenly says, you know what, we're gonna have to hold these people accountable. Well, then I guess they would find a way to get him out of office pretty soon. And he wouldn't be around to hold them accountable, and then there's that. Man, here's more about East Palestine. Leaked audio reveals U.S. rail workers were told to skip inspections as Ohio crash prompts scrutiny to industry. Employee says manager told her to stop marking cars for repair as Ohio derailment brings hard look at industry's record of blocking safety rules. Yeah. In leaked audio by The Guardian, a manager from one of U.S.'s largest rail companies can be heard explaining to a former carman that they should stop tagging rail cars for broken bearings. Wow. The manager says doing so delays other cargo. The disclosure comes as federal agencies investigate the derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. A wheel bearing failure was cited as the cause of the crash in a preliminary report. How do you even get to a place where you're like, don't check for those broken bearings? This whole machine runs on these gears. I'd like you to stop checking for broken gears or broken teeth in the gears. Okay? But this whole machine runs on these gears. Okay. I don't know. How would you even yeah, anyways, how do you even get to that point? I'm not really sure. In late 2016, Stephanie Griffin, a former Union Pacific carman, went to her manager with concerns that she was getting pushback for tagging or reporting for repair rail cars. Her manager told her it was okay to skip inspections. Griffin asked if the manager could put that in writing. That's weird, said the manager. We have 56 other people here who are not bad ordering stuff out there. You're definitely not going to get in trouble for it. Bad order means mark for repair. He refused to bad order cars for bad wheel bearings. My boss took issue with it because it increased our dwell time. When that happened, corporate offices would start berating management to release the cars. So it probably was not the manager's fault either. The manager was under pressure from the... But I guess, again, as in the story we heard yesterday about Hannah and the goldfish, if nobody's willing to put the goldfish back in the bowl, then we get things like this happening. Because nobody's willing to stand in the breach. Nobody's willing to go, nope, okay, that's it, I've had enough. Yes, I know that I might get fired. Yes, I know, something. But you just can't do it this way. And this, which is what creates whistleblowers. And then if you know it's a real whistleblower when they go, they get fired from their job, they lose all their money, and they lose, they get hounded by authorities. They might even go to jail. Just as an aside, real whistleblowers don't show up on CNN on Sunday night talking about how bad Facebook is. Those are not real whistleblowers. Real whistleblowers end up in Belmarsh, or where was Chelsea Manning? Why can't I remember the name of the prison Chelsea was in? That's where real whistleblowers end up. Because they don't like when people stand in the breach. They don't like when people do the right thing. When everybody is telling them to do the wrong thing, and don't worry, your job is safe if you just do the wrong thing. Anyways. Most railroad workers are fighting against an entire system that only exists as a money-making apparatus to the wealthy. Those trains run through our towns, but they do not run next to the rich folks' homes, nor next to our politicians' homes. This is a top-down problem. And a spokesperson from Union Pacific said, no, nothing is more important than the safety of Union Pacific employees. Employees are expected and encouraged to report concerns. Official press release. Nothing could be further from the truth. The rate of train derailments has increased over the past decade, with 2 derailments every 1 million miles traveled on the railroads compared to 1.71 derailments in 2013. There were 818 derailments reported in 2022, with 447 train cars carrying hazardous materials either damaged or derailed. That is a lot of cars. That is a shit ton of cars with hazardous materials derailing every year. Yeah, well, and then there's that. But Amanda, you can email me at blackbearnews@gmail.com. So yeah, just hit me up there. All right, we're getting close to the end of the show. I want to talk about a couple other things. Maybe I might move. Well, did you know that Lula, I might have to change my views on President Lula da Silva in Brazil. Did you hear that Lula said that people are going to lose their benefits if they don't get vaccinated? Poor people are going to lose their benefits if they don't get vaccinated. I was like, what, sir? I've never been a Bolsonaro fan, but I mean, it seems like Lula might be definitely all weffed up. Might be. He also said, I've taken 5 vaccinations and I'll take another one. I'll take another one. Okay. Maybe he's not planning on being around very much longer. Or maybe he's not really taking them. Maybe he's taking placebos. Nobody knows. Going South says Lula is a woke fascist. It's looking that way. And so it makes me wonder, what is going on? Or maybe they're all playing this theater together, The Lulas and the Bolsonaros and the Trumps and the Bidens, maybe they're all just playing this game called Grand Theater. Well, I'll be the good guy, you be the bad guy today, and then we'll switch places. Okay? I don't know. He is mandating vaccines. That's not good. Someone needs to educate him. Apparently so. Apparently so. Did you see, Fox News reportedly imposes a soft ban on Trump. Did you see this? What does that? I mean, what does that even mean? They don't want Trump on their. They don't want Trump on their news channel. Fox News would previously all Trump all the time. It might have been just called the Trump channel for a long time, for a couple, 4 or 5 years. Now they don't like him. What does that mean? Does that mean he's bad for business? I mean, I don't. Does that mean they want to promote another candidate? Does that? I don't know. I'm not really trying to guess what this means. Fox News has imposed a soft ban on Donald Trump appearing on the channel. His inner circle is reportedly complaining, even as the broadcaster extends warm invitation to other Republican hopefuls in next year's presidential election. Who knows? Trump's rivals for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination are currently frequent guests on Fox. Media Matters for America watchdog keeps a close eye on the network's output, has counted 7 weekday appearances by the former governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley. There's also Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy. That's fun to say. What about, I wonder if Tulsi is going to throw her name in the ring somewhere in there, too. She won't be a Democrat, of course. She might be a Republican. She might be independent. I don't know. But it's interesting because obviously if they are soft banning Trump, then they have an interest in tilting the election scales in a certain direction. Who know? It's intriguing on some level. I don't know. I thought that was an interesting item. Fox wants Ron DeSantis. Maybe. What's up, William? How you doing? I'll take this call. I gotta jump off in about 4 or 5 minutes. William, how you doing?
Hey, Kev, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Commenting on what you just said, Trump put out a presser, within the last week, it was a total populist message. We was talking about getting out of the Ukraine war.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for pointing it out. That's probably the best take on it, is that he's put out an anti-war message. And Fox, all the media stations, they all want war, right? They're all pro-war.
Yeah, and there were other things like he did go to East Palestine before Buttigieg, and although there were 3 administrations involved in that the railroad industry lobbied to get to the place we are, he did talk about reforms and trying to help the people, and in other words, but this is what he did last time. He runs on a populist message, just like Obama did, and then it seemed like, if you look at their cabinets, they're really corporate captured. I mean, even Trump's cabinet, if we were to break that down, and then you look at the policies. So,
Trump was in a way kind of a carbon copy of Obama.
Yeah,
where he ran on a for the people message.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're right. Exactly, another good take. He got in there, and then he got all the corporate stooges surrounding him, and then he just did everybody's bidding.
Yeah. So I think I'd like to see Tulsi run. Certainly Tucker Carlson likes her. She even subs in for him.
Right.
And she has a lot of attributes. I think she'd be better off running as a president, but being a VP role. I think most of America would like to see an older male as president. I'm not misogynist. I'm just being realistic. If you're trying to win the presidency historically, you know what I mean?
Right.
And with the female VP who could eventually, well, that was the goal for her for the DNC. Remember that she was supposed to be groomed to eventually be the new darling, but she hopped on the Bernie wagon, and the establishment didn't like that. So
No, and well, and she also is anti-war, and they
Yes.
they really don't like that. I mean, if there's an issue that will get you persona non grata with the mainstream, the mainstream media and just people in charge in general, is being anti-war.
Agreed. Yeah. I also, in the live chat, just getting back to what you were talking about, East Palestine, the Humane Society, there was a woman interviewed with the Humane Society, I just heard it, who has cited, they're finding sick animals. People are bringing in their animals from, quite a wide radius. I don't recall if she said 10 miles, or I can't recall the exact radius. And then there are some pets they had to euthanize, cats and dogs, not a great number, who got some acute level poisoning. It's bizarre that then you hear the EPA come out, oh, everything tests fine, everything tests fine, whether it's air, water.
Oh, of course.
But, yeah.
Just like somebody,
Yeah,
it's like the FDA is like, this is totally safe and effective.
Yeah, I know we're down on Rockfin yet. Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean,
well, I haven't seen anything on that oral argument that took place on March 1st regarding, well, can I mention the case? Because
what is
where
it?
I'm going with it.
What is it? Is it a...
The Brooke Jackson, she was the whistleblower, Pfizer trial whistleblower. Their oral arguments, motion for dismissal, brought by Pfizer, DOD, Robert Barnes being her attorney, and they were supposed to take place March 1st, but I haven't seen anything on it. I've been looking to see how that went. Yeah, that's of interest.
Oh, here's an issue.
Oh, did you find something?
Well, no, not on that, but here's an interesting clip. While we're on the subject, and I'll just play this. I'm gonna take a chance because this is congressional testimony by medical science experts from Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and Stanford testifying before Congress. The greatest perpetrator of misinformation during the pandemic has been the United States government. You want to hear it? You want to hear it?
Yeah, definitely.
Misinformation. The greatest perpetrator of misinformation during the pandemic has been the United States government. Misinformation that COVID was spread through surface transmission, that vaccinated immunity was far greater than natural immunity, that masks were effective. Now we have the definitive Cochrane review. What do you do with that review? Cochrane is the most authoritative evidence body in all of medicine and has been for decades. Do you just ignore it, not talk about it? That myocarditis was more common after the infection than the vaccine. Not true. It's 4 to 28 times more common after the vaccine. That young people benefit from a booster. Misinformation. Our two top experts on vaccines quit the FDA in protest over this particular issue, pushing boosters in young, healthy people. The data was never there. That's why the CDC never disclosed hospitalization rates among boosted Americans under age 50. The vaccine mandates would increase vaccination rates. The George Mason University study shows it didn't. It did one thing. It created never-vaxxers who are now not getting the childhood vaccines they need to get. Over and over again, we've seen something that goes far beyond using your best judgment with the information at hand. We've seen something which is unforgivable, and that...
All right. I'm going to stop playing it there because I may have gone too far with even playing that, but this is not my opinion. These are opinions of top doctors, again, from Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and Stanford. So that was Dr. Martin, I can't really see his name, Makari, and Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Martin Koldorf. This is congressional testimony, so
Wow.
this is not
Did that happen?
this is not my opinion, YouTube. just please relax. I'm just playing this.
Kev, can I ask you, when was that congressional hearing? I didn't know about that. Was that recent, in the last
I don't know.
week or two? Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. That was posted by RFK Jr. on March 2nd.
Oh, March 2nd.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I don't know. I don't know when that happened. So.
Right. Right. It must be. So that's Children's Health Defense Fund. That's his organization.
Right.
CHD.
But this must have happened. This must have
Kennedy
happened
Jr.
recently.
Yes.
And probably, because the House has a Republican majority, so I think they're trying to do more hearings about this particular subject. So I don't know. Anyways, that was interesting, right?
Mm-hmm. I thought it was terrific. I'm going to look for that coverage. Did you hear about Woody Harrelson Saturday Night Live?
I did. I
thought that was awesome.
It was awesome, and
yes.
it did say, someone else was playing that on their show, and it was it did seem like it kind of went over people's heads, or people were like, "What?" It was a very flat response from the audience, and
it was. I was surprised.
I think people didn't know where it was going, but I thought it was a great monologue, and I thought that little summation at the end that he did was spot on. Yeah.
I agree. I think maybe it's because it's in New York, which is mostly Democratic, and they're like, "Huh? You know what?"
Well, and people still feel it's weird. Mostly the opinions are changing pretty radically. Even here, the audience was on vinyl chloride. That's what Osama said. But I mean, I think there are a lot of people that have kind of come out of the trance, the COVID trance, but there are still plenty of people that are in it, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, I got to let you go because I got to
right.
run. And thanks for calling in, William.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Good way to support the show is buymeacoffee.com/blackburn-news. Rockfin tips are also greatly appreciated, and same with the YouTube super chats. There are also other links to support the show in the description box of all the platforms that I'm on. So thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with me today. Again, tomorrow, don't know, 50-50 on the show tomorrow. If I show, I show. If not, I will see you on Sunday. All right, y'all. Till next time, peace.